All right. Very good. Okay, we are live. You got the show, Dan.
Okay, thank you. Good evening and welcome to October's virtual meeting. For all those participating in the meeting, whether through WebEx or Facebook Live, we hope we're all healthy, safe, and having a great week. Would now like to call the regular board order to meeting or to order. Meeting called at 6:03 p.m. Roll call. Jim Anderson is absent. Dr. Falvo Lang.
Here.
Roger Gines.
Here.
Maria Higgy.
Here.
Carmelita Smith.
Here.
Cindy Sutter.
Here.
Dan Sutter, here. Okay, let's move to in memoriam. We extend our sincere condolences to the families of the following people who have passed away since our last meeting. For those we serve, Ronald Dale Moyer Jr., Ronald, age 79, passed away Tuesday, September 1st. He received services from the SSA department and previously worked at Weaver Industries. Helen Jacqueline Abney, Jackie, age 80, passed away on Wednesday, September 30th. She received services from the SSA department. Renee Elaine Hencht, Renee, age 61, passed away Thursday, October 8th. She received services from SSA department, previously worked at Stark County Board of DD Workshop Program and was in Special Olympics. Jeffrey Ludwig Heffernan, Jeffrey, age 63, passed away on Friday, October 16th. He received services from the SSA department. And Kyara Lee Young Gilmore, Kyara, age 14, passed away Tuesday, October 20th. She received services from the SSA department and was a student at Rebecca Stallman Southgate School. We could have a moment of silence in their memory. Okay, thank you. Now I need a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting held September 22nd.
Higgy moves.
Got a second there too? All right. Any additions, revisions, or corrections? All in favor of the approval of the board minutes, say aye. Opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Aye.
No abstentions? Minutes are approved. Now we have Disability Employment Awareness Month recognition. A good part of the year. Go ahead, Lisa.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to see all of you. We're going to share the screen so you can see the presentation. I'm going to start the evening in our presentation with just a little reminder. Each October, National Disability Employment Awareness Month celebrates America's workers with disabilities and reminds employers of the importance of inclusive hiring practices. In 1945, Congress declared the first week of October as National Employ the Physically Handicapped Week. In 1962, the word physically was dropped to include individuals with all types of disabilities. Congress then expanded the week to a month in 1988 and changed the commemoration to National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Now, this year is special because not only are we observing 75 years of inclusive employment practices, but also the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. What I'd like to point out tonight, which is so special, I think, is that in the midst of a global pandemic, employees with disabilities have been working alongside other essential workers and will continue to be a part of the economic recovery of our nation. And so the federal theme this year was increasing access and opportunity. And so I would like to show you some of our local ambassadors' stories that we highlighted this month. We kicked off the month with our friend Heather, and she is a great example of someone who has tried a number of different employment opportunities and job training programs. She went through Goodwill training, worked at First Christian Day Services to get some more additional job training, and landed a project search over at Altman Hospital through the CIFRIN program. And along with that, worked with opportunities for Ohioans with disabilities, and she has found her spot. She just got hired during the pandemic. So again, one of those essential workers at the hospital in food services, and she absolutely loves her job. So again, I met her when she was working in the restaurant industry years ago, and she is just so thrilled to have been able to land a job during this challenging time. So we're so proud of Heather and 6 months of service at Altman Hospital. Next, we have our friend Jeff. And again, Jeff represents that long-term employee. He has been a stocking clerk at PetSmart here locally for 18 years. Jeff, his SSA and the folks at PetSmart talk about Jeff, and he initially, when he first started, he has Asperger's, and so he would sometimes get a little challenge with change and when they shifted things on the shelves and moved them around. But with 18 years of service, Jeff has really learned his job, and he has adapted to change very well. And he kept telling me as I was interviewing him, he said, "The people love me. I am great with people." So he is just so proud of the job he does, and they absolutely love him at PetSmart. And so we are so proud of Jeff for his longevity of service locally in our community. Next, we have two special people. This is a brother and sister duo, Dominic and Whitley, and they are employed at Walmart, each a different one, and they might look familiar to one of our board members. They are the son and daughter of Roger and Sheila Gines. And so thrilled to have their story up there. Dominic, he has been at Walmart for about 3.5 years. In box maintenance, and Whitley, again, another one of those essential employees, got hired during the pandemic. And so their story is wonderful because they exemplify working through a job training program and working with job coaches to support on the job. Whitley was awesome. She actually got her job and started at Walmart before the job coach actually started working with her. And so the job coach was saying some of the things that she helps Whitley with on the job is those, like there are Relias training, some of those technical trainings that she needs to do on the job. And so they are both just a wonderful representation, again, of those essential employees that have continued to work and be a part of our local community. So we're so proud of them. Dominic, again, 3.5 years of service, and Whitley, just 5 months. So congratulations to them. And last, we have Matt Luther. Again, a longevity, 14 years of service working at Perry High School in the cafeteria, plus 2 years as a student worker. So this story really exemplifies and talks about that importance of transition, employment, and job discovery. And it's funny, we've shared all these stories all month on social media, and Matt's story has just exploded because they call him Mr. Perry, because he is so well known and he is such a cheerleader for the community. And they absolutely, the whole community loves him at Perry High School. He's also a big part of the community, does a lot of volunteering. As he said, his passion is helping people. So I'm just very thrilled to share with you just a few of the stories of the ambassadors, highlighting again those that are working in the community and being part of the essential workforce that even though some of us have not been able to work, these folks are still out there. So again, congratulations to them, and I'm so appreciative of them sharing their story with us tonight. Do I have any questions? All right, be sure to look up their stories on Facebook, and on our website, you can see their story under our stories. Thank you.
That was excellent. Thank you very much, Lisa. All right, then at this time, we'll entertain anyone for public speaks. I don't think we have anybody. Okay, let's move on to the President's report. Good evening again. While it's a little gloomy outside today, I know that Disability Employment Awareness Month recognition brightens our day. So thank you, Lisa, again for that. And, just let everyone know, after tonight's meeting, Roger has just one more meeting, which will be 12 years of service on the board. We made mention of Roger's dedication last month, and it was determined Roger has only missed one meeting in his entire 12-year tenure. And that was when his daughter was graduating. So we have the pleasure to be with him for 2 more meetings, including this one. Thank you, Roger. I've also had the opportunity to participate in our initial strategic planning session. We're fortunate to have these sessions facilitated by Amy Renkert. The focus has been put on revising and making our vision and mission statements to align tightly as we address critical issues that we're facing over the next 3 years. We want to take our current vision and mission to include choices and opportunities along with support for our clients and families. So more to come on this. And after tonight's meeting, Kathy Albright will be sending us our performance evaluation for Bill. And we all need to have these completed and back to Kathy by Friday, December 4th. Also, the nomination committee will need to meet to propose officers for the January organization meeting. And so at the beginning of the year, the nominating committee was determined to be Roger, Dr. Jessica, and Carmelita, with Roger as chair. So in order to facilitate this committee with our COVID protocols, Bill or Lisa will set up a WebEx meeting for the committee. They'll then drop off the meeting so the committee can meet and discuss the nominations. And we will also continue our search for someone to fill Roger's seat. As well, I am up for reappointment in January. So this concludes the President's report. Superintendent's report. Bill, you're on mute.
I should know this. I do apologize. We hope you and your family are staying healthy and safe. It is hard to believe this is our 7th virtual meeting. Literally, this thing has now 8 months in. We continue to adapt and be flexible with our supports, our meetings, our education that we provide at Eastgate and Southgate and Taft and Avondale. Every department remains fully functional, and we are working to meet everyone's unique needs. With EI, the majority of our visits continue to be virtual or by phone, but in September, we did have 45 in-person visits where virtual just doesn't work out. Phone isn't meeting people's needs. So, so we're starting to see uptick in in-person visits, and we use all the protocols and mask use to make sure everyone is safe. Our preschool is continuing to meet 4 days a week, as it always has. Our school-age students are on a hybrid schedule still. We are 3 days 1 week, 2 days the next, and we have 2 different groups who rotate, which is really, really tough on families. But we're continuing to work and evaluate with that schedule, and do believe just because of the uptick in cases and start being at red, and probably for the next couple of weeks, that we're going to probably hold fast on that schedule. We do have one class, our embedded class at Avondale. They're meeting 5 days a week, and they've been up and running 5 days a week the entire year. Our SSAs are meeting with people and families with social distancing, and their planning meetings and monitoring are taking place in person. as well as provider compliance. The majority of our RNQA assessments are being done virtually, and that's by direction from the state. Our investigative services has continued to do 99% of the interviews in person, and that has been since the beginning of the pandemic, and we ensure social distancing takes place and mask use. We are holding our strategic planning steering committee in person. We have 16 people, and we spread out through the Cohen room, and we have barriers in between everyone. So we are ensuring that we're protecting the participants. We have seen a number of our staff that has had to quarantine due to either contracting the virus or been a part of contact tracing where they've had to quarantine. We've had 2 students who have had the virus, and unfortunately we've had 7 people that have passed away, both primarily that have lived in nursing homes and in intermediate care facilities. We've only had 3 people pass away in home and community-based homes. With the uptick in the county with the cases, we continue to monitor our response plan and make any necessary changes. Overall, it has held pretty true, and the only need for revisions are based on the CDC guideline changes. Do you want to kind of foreshadow what the rest of the year looks like? Please expect in December a report out on our 2017 through 2020 strategic plan. We hope to have a presentation of the draft plan for 2021 through 2023. If we don't, that will be presented in full for approval in January. In December, we'll have a request for approval of our 2021 budget, as well as approval of all our contracts for the 2021 year. Do you want to provide an update on the school-age principal? We know Myrna is departing in December, and we're wishing her such good wishes for her retirement. But this actually today we had interviews for her position, and we expect by week's end to be making an announcement. Unexpectedly, and this has thrown me for a loop, but Kathy Albright is also retiring, and she is certainly my right hand and someone that I rely heavily on. So we've posted her position, and we're interviewing the week of November 9th for her. So hopefully we can have just a little bit of overlap for her. On December 23rd, as she tries to leave, I'll probably be grabbing her leg, and she'll probably be pulling me down the stairs. But hopefully we can find someone that can at least walk in her footsteps, because I mean, her work ethic is par excellent, and she is going to be incredibly missed. So that concludes the superintendent's report, if there's no questions.
Okay, thank you. So committee and department reports are in our board packets. Are there any additions or deletions that need to be made at this time? With none, at this time, we'll have a review of policies slated for first reading. Connie Holton leading.
Good evening. Policy 4.28, military leave, was reviewed with no changes recommended. Policy 4.48, employee property reimbursement, was also reviewed with no changes recommended. And policy 5.06, early intervention transition, was also reviewed with no changes recommended. Thank you.
Okay, now we move to resolutions. We have resolution 104120, approves the board expenditures for September, I need a motion.
Giants moves.
Second,
Lang, second.
and discussion from Lee.
Okay, sorry about that. Good evening. Hope everyone can see the screen okay. So we're looking at September and also year-to-date 2020. So during the month of September, we did receive our second half real estate taxes of just under 15 million. Total local revenues for the month, 15.2 million. Total state revenues of 216,000 and total federal of 603,000, giving us total revenue of 16.03 million. Just a couple things to note. We have not received our second half real estate rollback distribution, which is about $1.8 million. So you could see we're further ahead with our real estate versus last year, but we were also in the same position last year as compared to 2018. We have lost some ODE funding as well as DODD funding, which is why we're seeing a negative variance in the state funding as well. And then federal funding due to cost report settlement timing. Looking at our expenditures, we did have 3 payrolls during the month of 1.73 million. Total benefits paid of 334,000. There was no health insurance paid just due to timing. And the total other expenses of 470,700 for total expenses of 2.5 million. Again, the only thing I'll note is due to the enhanced federal assistance mapping percentage, we're saving about $2.6 million on waiver match. You see that all the way to the far right, and that's what we've saved year to date. Looking below, so our revenues exceeded our expenses of 13.5 million. We're year to date in a positive variance of 10.6 million. Looking at the cash that we carried over, we started the year with $49.39 million. At the end of September, we have 9.1 million in open purchase orders, 453,000 in 2019 purchase orders that we closed this year, and then our positive variance of 10.6 million gives us unencumbered cash at the end of September of 51.37 million. This may be a little small, so I apologize, but just looking at our year-to-dates, we can see year-to-date revenues of 45 million are 88.6% of what we've expected to receive in. So we're a little on the high end. Right now, our target is 75%. Revenues fluctuate. It's all about timing. But looking down at expenses, you can see that our year-to-date percentage is 67.6%, which is far below that 75% benchmark. Again, primarily due to the savings in the waiver match. At the end of September, we had an available budget of 7.3 million. Again, mostly this amount making up personnel expenses of 4.1 million, still remaining left for payroll. This statement is now zeroed out. It will be the same for the next couple months. So you can see the 2019 purchase orders we carried over of 736,000. We have canceled paid for 282,000 off of those purchase orders and canceled 453,576. So we have $0 remaining in prior year encumbrances. Now looking at resolution 104120, again, you could see the 3 payrolls here. There was really nothing to note out of any of those payrolls, nothing out of the ordinary. And then you could see the breakdown of the non-payroll expenses by week for the month, totaling 804,794. If there's no questions, requesting approval of resolution 104120.
Oh, go ahead. Did someone have a question? Maybe not. All right, with no questions, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Financials for September are approved. We have resolution 104220 approving the 2021 policy manual. I need a motion.
Giants moves.
Second,
Seconds. Lang, seconds.
and discussion from Connie.
This resolution is to approve the 2021 Board Policy Manual. Each year, the Board Policy Manual is presented in its entirety to the Board. The Policy Manual includes 6 chapters, and those are governance, agency administration, safety and facilities, human resources, program services, and information technology. On pages 55 through 63 of your board packet, the 6 chapters are listed along with the corresponding approved policies that are assigned to each chapter, which make up the policy manual. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? With none, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? With none, the resolution is approved. We go to second reading of board policies presented at the August board meeting with Connie.
Policy 1.05 Ethics Council was reviewed with no changes. Policy 3.12 Lone Worker. This is a new policy that states that we do have certain jobs that may require an employee to work by themselves. The policy includes the processes and precautions the board follows to ensure that employees are safe when working alone. Policy 4.01 Identification Badges was reviewed with no changes. And finally, policy 4.06 Learning Management System Training. This policy was revised to add a paragraph which states that the board developed or approved training can also be delivered through the Relias learning platform. Thank you.
Okay, that brings the resolution 104320, providing approval for board policies presented for second reading. I need a motion.
Hickey moves.
Second.
Giles seconds.
Any further discussion or questions? With none, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. No abstentions. Board policies are approved. Okay, the next board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, December 15th at 6 p.m. There is no board meeting in November, and I now need a motion to adjourn.
Giles moves.
Second.
Calvin Lang seconds.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. No abstentions. We are adjourned at 6:30.
Hey, Dan,
Yes.
real quick. I would